Hands up those who have been really busy. Unbelievable. Do you know what? It's such a strange thing because nearly everyone that I know is busy up to their necks in it for all sorts of weird and wonderful reasons right now. And a couple of my close friends, as you know, I'm a cockroach and mind wiseman. A roach is just absolutely whacking all the hours in to get as much money as he can for him and his family, which is fine, obviously. Pete's had a few medical problems that he's dealing with and he's recovering well. So us three have been taking up the game. I mean, personally, myself, with my son and family, we've just had overtime, so I'm following the money as well. And it's just been off the radar. But we've grabbed some time and we're going to tell you a story today. Yeah, EDC stories. And I've got my prompts because I'm getting old now and I can't remember much. So we've got a few prompts. And it's fascinating really. I mean, this all come to light about making this video from a few experiences from work colleagues, friends and family. Some of the things that they've experienced where they could have been a much better outcome for those should they have been prepared. It's the preparedness mindset, prepping on an everyday level, should we say. You know, we're not talking zombies and bunkers and 25 years worth of food. This is just about everyday stuff which I believe we should all be carrying or maybe think of carrying, whether it's in a bag that they keep indoors, they take with them like I do, a bag that you keep in the car all the time, all sorts of weird and wonderful contraptions and reasons to why I think we should all be prepared and look after ourselves, especially with kit and equipment. And yes, the t-shirt kindly given to me by some guy at Prepper Meat, nice one. Always listen to our customers. That sounds about right in this day and age. So without further ado, let's crack on with the stories. The first one is a guy at work. Now, he agreed with his wife and kids, who he sees now and again, to meet up at a motorway service station on a day to hand over and to take the kids out for a few hours or whatever. So the deal was, he gets to this service station, he texts his wife, and they all arrange where they are and meet up and blah blah blah, do their thing. So he gets there, oh no, phone is completely flat, it wouldn't even turn on, no power whatsoever. And he had nothing in his car to charge his phone. And some of the new cars in this day and age have like a USB point somewhere in the vehicle where they can plug a lead in and it should be fine. But that's all well and good. But without a lead, it's impossible. And you know, I've known people that have come out on camps of us, Paul, who have taken chargers and all these things, but no lead. So, something like this. I've been carrying this, I don't know, 5 years plus. Everywhere I go pretty much on my EDC bag, every now and again I always plug it in to make sure it's topped up, charged up, and of course if it gets really bad, it runs out, you can just put it under sunlight and get something in there so you can at least power your phone, make that important call or whatever. But of course it's useless without a lead. Do not forget these leads, okay? It's advised, but these are so cheap now, but by all means make sure you get the right one that works with your phone. Some leads that I've had before, trying to save money, plug them into charge and they wouldn't charge. They can transfer data but not have enough quality within the cable to whack that 2.1 volts I think it is to charge your phone. So make sure that you've got the right lead and the backup charger so you can get out of little jams like that. So he had, at the end of the day, had to go to the shop and he had to buy a charging lead and a charger because he forgot about the USB port. So luckily the charger already had some power in it when it was sold. He was able to plug it into his phone, give it a minute or so, then he can text his other half to tell him where they all are and you all met up, great. But it could have been avoided, should have been prepared with something like that, okay? Another one, Jean, who works with us, she was leaving work one day, and recently in the UK we had a heat wave, for some of you guys who don't know. and it's pretty extreme for us to have in excess of 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, we're a moderate climate, we get all sorts, but when it goes to extremes, on the whole we suffer. Okay, so it's going to be looking like in the near future this is going to be a regular occurrence. So to me it makes sense to prepare somewhat for these extremities should and when they arise. Now Jean's scenario was she just left work, traffic was pretty bad. She got to a junction where she could turn left to go to where the shops were and a petrol station, or right to hit the motorway and go home. She got to that junction and just happened to look down and notice her fuel light had come on, out of fuel. So, you know, she's probably got some amount in the reserve tank. She had no idea whether it would be enough to get her home, especially if there's a huge traffic jam like it looks like there was happening. She could have been stuck. So she made that decision to turn left, which is the right decision, go to the shops, the petrol station, put some fuel in and then head back. But, as I said, it was a heat wave. From where she left the garage to where she was originally waiting to join the queue to get onto the motorway, it took 2.5 hours, or just over 2.5 hours. She was in the car, crawling, stopping for a long period of time. And she had nothing in the car, just a purse I think and a handbag, but there was no water, no snacks, nothing like that. And you know, if you add in all of these scenarios where it could have been worst case, you know, she left a purse at home, a phone signal would run out, she had run out of fuel, she could have been in big trouble very quickly, just for them simple things. So always it always makes sense in my mind to keep at the back of your mind where everything is, you know, like money, fuel, water. Make sure that you've got it in and around you, because if it's not there and the weather extremities are different, you could be in problems. So my advice, as always, make sure that you carry water in the vehicle. It doesn't matter what temperatures they are, okay? As long as it's tap water and you keep it out of the sunlight, keep it under a car seat, in the boot, cupboard, whatever. Yes, it will be warm, but you can still drink. Metal one, okay, no problem at all. And also me, as a personal rule, when my fuel tank gets to halfway, I then fill it up to the top. But recently, the way finances have been, etc., I had to let it go below the halfway point of my car. First time in a long time. But weighing out the pros and cons and priorities, I opted for let it run down to a quarter of a tank, and then when money comes available at that point, I'll top it up. But I always make sure that I've got fuel in the back of the car. This one's empty, I've got 8 in total, 2 of them are filled, some of them are getting a bit low which needs filling, but always got that in the car. So when it gets to whatever point, I could just top it up should I need to. I always tend to refill these every 2 years at winter time. Now the reason I do it at winter time is winter time all of the fuel gas stations or petrol stations here in the UK put an additive into the fuel which makes it more usable should the temperatures get quite cold. Okay, so to me it makes sense to have that additive in there. If it gets really cold, it's going to be fine, especially being a diesel vehicle. If it's extreme cold, gelling of fuel, it's not a good idea, it's a bad scenario. So if you fill up these cans in the summertime and you store it and you top up in the winter time when it gets cold, it won't have that additive in and you could get in problems. So my advice, fill them up every 2 years, 3 years if you really want to push it, but make sure you do it winter time, it's got an additive in. Right, moving on, Jeff. Now this is someone I don't know personally, I've been following for years on YouTube. His channel name is Cutlery Lover, and I remember, I love his videos. I can just breeze in and out. He does lots of content, all short videos, and they're really easy to watch, and you extract information from, and that's it, job done. And one story stuck in mind and I thought I'd share it with you in case some of you didn't hear about it. And it was a few years back, maybe 3 I guess, as an idea. He was in Walmart in America, a big well-known store. It was winter time and they had a power out, or in UK we call it a power cut. So imagine, if you will, there's a store, probably a quarter capacity with customers all over the place, all of a sudden, in a second, all of the lights go out, complete darkness, and you're not going to be coming on for a amount of time. But when something like that happens, a lot of people instantly go into shock, especially if they're not prepared for anything like that. You're going to be feeling vulnerable, you lose your senses, or you can't see, and people panic, okay? But luckily for Jeff, like most of us, carry an EDC torch. So as soon as it went dark, it was like probably seconds, and I would have been the same. Okay, dark, no light, it's fine. I know I've got a torch, I know it's charged up, take it out, bang, instant light. What he done was exactly that. He got his torch and he walked down the aisles of Walmart in the darkness. People saw the light. Okay, you're in a big store, it's pitch black, and you're going to see a glowing of a light, whether it's reflecting off the ceiling or over the aisles somewhere, and people will probably naturally be drawn to that light. So it's pretty much like a Pied Piper scenario. Everyone in that store joined him, and he was looking for the exit to get out, which is what he'd done. So always carry a torch. And speaking of torches, if I've got time, this has just been charging up. A no light torch. I've never used them before, so we could be interested to see how that goes. But yeah, torches, always carry an EDC torch. And years ago I never carried a torch, and I use it pretty much every day. I know it's hard to understand and accept, but in the summertime, why would you need a torch? Mostly at work, if something gets dropped on the floor, like a screw or a nut or a bolt, they tend to roll and go all over the place, and you just either lose it forever, or you just go and get another one or whatever. But get a torch, get down low, have a quick flash around. 9 times out of 10 you will see it instantly. It'll either reflect or it will stand out, and then you can go and get it. Goes the same with coins, money, whatever. Torch is fantastic, so in my opinion, always carry a torch. If you can't carry one on person, at least have it in your bag or your glove box in your vehicle, because they always come in handy. Moving along, my dad, years ago he was on holiday, I think it was America, northeast, and I think it was one of those remote cabins, him and the family. I didn't go personally, but my brothers and wife's side, they all went out there. There's about 10, 12 of them. And in his cabin, you know, they had extreme weather as well. They had power outs and power cuts. Power went down. You know, my brother's wife's father, who was an electrician, so which was handy. But when you're on holiday, you don't really carry tools. But my dad, bless him, had one of these. And the story was, I was working at a job. I ordered one for myself. 2 came, but the invoice was for 1, so basically I got buy one get one free. First person I thought of was my dad, and gave him one. He has it, he's had it for years. Got this about 2001 as a rough idea, around 9/11 when I got this. And yeah, carry it all over the place. Fantastic. It's the Gerber Legend. This is when Gerber was good, long before Bear Grylls come along, and in my opinion, I don't know, quality and price and everything just went downhill. But that is an amazing quality piece of kit, and if you're lucky enough to find an original Gerber Legend in good or new condition for a good price, go for it. I highly recommended. Very, very cool. So my dad with this was able to open the fuse box with the screws and take the fuses out. Some of them, like wires, are like completely knackered, so they got restripped, all with this. And there was loads of other things, bottle openers. There wasn't one in the drawer in the kitchen. So my dad was pretty much the hero of that holiday, because any time, this is quite funny, my dad will be watching this, and he will tell you that any time something went wrong on the holiday, it was always like, Trevor, where's the Gerber? And my dad would smile, take it out of his little pouch, which he carried on his belt, and Gerber to the rescue. Multi-tools are awesome. And I'll carry one as well, not the Gerber as well, but that goes in my bug out bag, that's important. But this is a day-to-day Leatherman sidekick. Everywhere I go, that is my EDC personal nowadays. So that's cool. And last but not least, a story myself. A friend of mine lives out on a farm, surrounded by woodlands, and we went out doing some green laning in his Hilux one day. And we was going around the back roads quite a way, extensive forest down in southern England, and trees would come down. So rather than like back up, turn around and go back, call it a day, this. And this, I would say, is one of the most important pieces of kit and equipment that I have in my arsenal, as it were. It's the Silky Big Boy. It gives you a rough idea of how big it is. I've used this in quite a few videos now, and I always really look after it, keep it clean, oiled, and it's never ever let me down. And of course you can hold it backwards, so if you've got a tree that's on the floor and you don't want to smash your knuckles up, you can hold it up there and go right down to floor level. In a preference to it being like this, and once you get to the floor, you know, you can't get all the way and it's a pain. But this, we was able to remove the fallen tree with ease with this. It didn't take too long at all. I mean, the diameter was probably about 8 inches, maybe 10 inches, and it didn't take long. The beauty of this, you can get a lot of power because it's a pull cut. You put the hand there at the back and hand there, and you actually push down and pull. Light, forward, weight, speed, and just keep pulling back like this. And it took no time at all. And that actually lives in my EDC bag, which goes with me everywhere I go. I don't leave it in the vehicle overnight in case the vehicle's stolen. I'll go to work, I'll go shopping, all the rest of it. It lives in my bag. And if I get time one of these days, I might do a video on that EDC bag and currently what I put in there. They're very hard to film, these sort of videos, because you need a lot of space and angles, and editing's a bit of a pain, but we're a bit limited in the shed, as it were. But one of these days I'll probably do it at work, where we've got benches and overtime's finished, and I can go in there after work, get a bit of me time and film it, because I believe there's a lot of cool stuff in that bag. So that is pretty much it for this video. I just wanted to put it out there about some of the everyday stories, about scenarios which can and do happen. And it's the age-old thing, just because it hasn't happened to you doesn't mean to say it won't happen. Okay, so try and remember what I've just said in these little stories. I hope you take something from it, and you know, you don't have to spend a lot of money. You can spend it whatever you want. You know, that's the beauty of all of this. You know, you can get a torch for £1, you can get a torch for probably £1,000, but there's choices for everyone and everywhere, for everyone's budget, for everyone's use. You don't have to get the same things that I do. But these are just examples of what you can use, and has actually worked and worked quite well. So that's pretty much it, as I said, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And if I get some time, I'll make some more videos, because it's super busy. You won't believe how busy life is. And yeah, EDC Everyday Stories, something to think about. Thanks for watching, and stay funky.